Hello, everyone. I'm Penny Kane Nori. Many people say I'm a woman who can work miracles, but really, I'm just an ordinary housewife. In 1969, I received the news that my mother had passed away, so I left my home in Colorado and flew to my hometown in Virginia, where my ailing father lived, along with the Meadow Ranch, which had been losing money for years. When I arrived at the ranch, I saw weeds growing everywhere. The horses in the stables looked listless, and my father's eyes were clouded. Soon after, my brother Hollis came to me, wanting to sell all the horses, shut down the ranch, and even sent my father to a nursing home. I firmly refused, because this was my father's life's work. At the ranch, I discovered a retired stallion named Brave Ruler, and decided to restore him to his former glory. Later, I learned that before he passed away, Dad had made an agreement with Ogden Phipps. Phipps won a coin toss and chose a foal, leaving the chestnut foal sired by Royal Something to me. I named him Secretariat. However, trouble followed one after another. I discovered the ranch trainer was up to no good, so I fired him. Everyone around me tried to dissuade me. Even my husband criticized me, but I didn't give up. I turned to my father's old friend, Arthur Hancock, for help, and he recommended the legendary retired horse trainer, Lucien Leroux. Lauren turned me down at first, but after visiting him repeatedly and showing him Secretariat, he saw that this horse was extraordinary. And so, I went from being a housewife to a stable owner, taking over a mess, facing skepticism and pressure, all to preserve my father's life's work and give myself a chance to prove myself. I believe that as long as I'm committed to something, there's no obstacle I can't overcome. Lucien agreed to stay on as Secretariat's trainer and threw himself into the job as soon as he took the post. Secretariat was powerful and had explosive speed, but he had a stubborn temperament. He always started slowly and loved to make a late surge. Lucien worked with him on endurance and speed, and I, too, learned the ins and outs of horse racing from scratch at the track, memorizing the horse's habits, and asking Lucien whenever I didn't understand something. When Secretariat reached racing age, Lucien hired a young jockey, Paul Feliciano, and I worried he lacked experience. The first race was held at Aqueduct Park in Queens, New York. Secretariat got off to a slow start and ultimately finished fourth. The crowd booed loudly, and Lucien and I argued. He blamed the jockey's inexperience. I missed my daughter's solo recital due to a canceled flight, but that only strengthened my resolve not to give up. I had to fulfill my father's dying wish. I found the seasoned jockey Ron Turcotte, who recognized Secretariat's potential and agreed to ride him. With the new team in place, training became more rigorous. Lucien revised the training plan. Ron and Secretariat developed a strong rapport, and I closely monitored every detail of the training. But funds were tight. Even my savings weren't enough. Those around me urged me to give up, but I remained unmoved. Later, Secretariat was placed well in several races, and Come From Behind became a household name. People began to take notice of both the horse and me. It was then that my father passed away from a stroke. The estate faced a $6 million tax bill, and my brother suggested selling the horse, but I firmly refused. Though this period was marked by failure, the loss of a loved one, and financial struggles, I never stopped. I found the right team, tamed the horse, and sorted out my inner confusion, realizing that perseverance paves the way for miracles. After my father passed away, I was weighed down by a heavy burden. The $6 million estate tax left me gasping for breath. Instead of selling the racehorse Secretariat, I put its shares up for sale to fund a diversified business venture. It is stipulated that the shares would only be valid if the horse won a long-distance race. For 3-year-olds, I pitched the ideas everywhere, and some people thought I was out of my mind. But I persisted in highlighting Secretariat's potential, and eventually sold 32 shares to cover the tax bill. Phipps offered $7 million for Secretariat, claiming it was a surefire investment. But I refused, saying its value would triple once it won the Triple Crown. The Triple Crown is the highest honor in American horse racing, requiring a horse to win the Kentucky Derby, the Preakness Stakes, and the Belmont Stakes in a single year. No one had achieved this in the previous 25 years, and Phipps left, mocking me. Pancho Martin, the trainer of our rival sham, provoked us repeatedly, but I remained unfazed, letting the team focus on training. Before the first leg of the Triple Crown, the Kentucky Derby, we entered Secretariat in the Woods Memorial, where we unfortunately faced Sham. As it turned out, Secretariat was in poor condition before the race, with an abscess in his mouth, and we lost the race, sparking a wave of skepticism. I was heartbroken, so I cared for him meticulously, while Lucian and Ron adjusted the training regimen. When the Kentucky Derby began, Shem surged ahead to take the lead, while Secretariat got off to a slow start and fell to the back of the pack. Just as everyone thought he was going to lose, he suddenly accelerated, breaking a 28-year-old record to win the race. This was our first championship, and the first step towards a miracle. Next came the Belgian Stakes. Shane took the lead again, but Secretariat made a late surge to win easily. We claimed our second championship, just one step away from the Triple Crown. Secretariat became the center of attention, racing the cover of magazines. Pancho Martin attempted to have jockey Shem wear down Secretariat early to secure the win, but I remained unfazed, trusting in its and the team's capabilities. This was my strategy for finding a way out of a desperate situation, advancing step by step amid skepticism. The process of winning the first 2 races of the Triple Crown, I proved through action that failing to give it your all is what truly makes something impossible. In the next race, we will launch our final assault on the highest honor. The Belmont Stakes is the final leg of the Triple Crown. The track was packed, and the cheers were non-stop. I stood on the sidelines watching Secretariat, feeling very calm inside. Lucian patted me on the shoulder to reassure me, and Ron and Secretariat were in perfect sync. The race began, and all the horses burst out of the gate. Secretary jockey Shem pressed close behind, trying to disrupt his rhythm and wear him down. Secretary got off to a slow start, and I was so nervous my palms were sweating. Halfway through the race, Ron gave Secretary a light pat on the neck, and he suddenly surged forward, overtaking his rivals like a chestnut-colored flash of lightning, leaving Shem far behind. The crowd erupted. Secretariat opened up a 31-length lead over second place, creating a miracle in horse racing history. Crossing the finish line, we won the Triple Crown, the first time in 25 years that anyone had achieved this feat. Lucian, Ron, and I embraced in celebration. Reporters swarmed around us, and I said it was passion and perseverance that created the miracle. As we received the trophy, the flashes of cameras never stopped, capturing this historic moment. I broke the male-dominated rules of the horse racing world, proving that women can reach the top too. Secretariat retired as a top stud, and his offspring continued the legacy. I returned home to settle into life, but my passion for horse racing remained undiminished. I often returned to the stables, reflecting on the past, realizing that none of this was due to luck, but rather the result of perseverance and passion. This time, we stood at the pinnacle, created a miracle, and achieved self-redemption. I've always believed, if you dare to run, the finish line lies ahead. If you persevere, miracles will happen.